how many people say they're going to start a business, and how many people say that they're going to do something? How many people tell you they'll be there to support you on your game day? How many people say that they're going to go to the gym, improve themselves, take care of their family, work hard at their job, get a promotion? And how many people actually mean what they say? You see, it's interesting because you can mean what you say, end quote, because you think you're going to do it. But what it actually boils down to is if you truly mean what you say, you're going to act on it and you're going to do it. You should never speak about something that you don't believe that you will do or that you never intend to do. Why would I say that I'm going to marry a woman if I'm not going to marry her? Why would I say to my parents that I'm going to be a straight A student when I know goddamn well I ain't shooting for more than a C? Why am I going to tell myself that I'm going to get an 8-pack when I know I'm going to be a fat fuck for the rest of my life? That's just hypocrisy at its finest.
Now, as you said that, I grinned because I could think of a reason for sure why you might tell.
Why don't you enlighten us?
Yeah, I know. I will.
Yeah.
Why you would say you would marry a girl? I haven't done this, but why you would say you would marry a girl and then don't actually marry her? Maybe because you want to have sex, right? There you go. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Some guys probably do something similar. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make you my girl. Right? Nah, tricking is when you buy shit for, you know what I'm saying? But
I don't know because I don't do either of those. So
exactly. But I'd say, if you want to go anywhere in life, build anything in life, have anything worth value, you have to establish it with trust as an integral part of it. Trust is something that we take for granted a lot. And again, whether it's in a relationship with a girl, in business, or what have you, trust is foundational to building a successful brand and a successful company, a successful person. And if any of you have had a relationship and you've been through great times and tough times, the great times, more often than not, there's a level of trust there between you and your partner. And that's why things are probably able to move so fluidly and so easily, is because there's trust and there's comfortability in that relationship. However, once someone fucks up, once someone gives any reason for doubt or, someone starts to believe something that may not be true and the trust starts to slip, then that's when the foundation of the relationship starts to crumble and the, used to be sunshine-filled days start to become rainy days because the trust is not there anymore. And the same thing goes with business. If Jose says to me that I'm going to deliver this on this date and it's not delivered on that date, he might have a great product. He might be a great person. But now, because he didn't do what he said that he was going to do, I now have to think twice about continuing business with Jose and doing further business with Jose because I have shit that I need to do. I have shit that I need to get done. And if things aren't met on the specific deadlines that were set and agreed upon, it doesn't only affect him for when he gets paid, because what if I don't pay him until the delivery gets here, but it also affects me for all the business that I have to do in the future as well. So that's why you have to really mean what you say, especially in business, because everything, the longevity of your career, the profitability of your career, the success of your career as an entrepreneur is built off trust. Because most of the times, relationships and also partnerships between companies and entities aren't going to be carried through or carried out unless someone knows you well enough and believes in you enough and trusts you enough to be able to do the job. Because there might be someone who does a job better than you. There might be someone who has a better quality product than you. But does the person that you want to get in business with, do they know you? Do they trust you enough to want to get into business with you? No, then no business is going to get done. So if you built a good, trustworthy record surrounding yourself and your business, it allows for more freedom and opportunity. It allows for more success. It allows for happier days. But if you don't have trust between you and your consumer, you and your clients, you and your partners, then nothing is going to come out of it, because people are going to be wary to work with you. And if they're wary to work with you, then that means that they're going to be wary to pay you. If they're wary to pay you, then that means that you're not making any fucking money. So build that trust up with people. And when you build that trust up, it establishes a bigger and stronger connection with you and your clients. And one big way that you do that, again, by building that trust, is meaning everything that comes out of your mouth, meaning what you say. Because if I know that I can trust your word and your word is golden, then that leads to golden days and gold and money in the future, because I know that you're going to deliver. And if I do my part and I know that you're going to do your part, it leads to a successful part in the future.
I just saw some very interesting things, by the way.
Oh, lovely.
I might have to, yeah. Trying to find solutions here to problems that we have, because there's things that we say that we're going to do that sometimes we just have to do it because we're fucking stubborn. Now, there's a saying where you shouldn't begin anything that you don't intend on finishing. Why? Because not only is it disrespectful to the person that you might be interacting with, but it's also disrespectful to yourself. The person you spend the most time with is yourself. You can't leave yourself unless you're on some psilocybin trip or some other bullshit like that. But you can't really leave yourself. And so even if you're not taking notes mentally or consciously, subconsciously, you're taking notes on yourself. So every time you fail to do what you say you're going to do, you start branding yourself as a liar. And you slowly start seeing and believing that, hey, I can't even trust myself. I say I'm going to do these things, but I don't do them. I say I believe certain things, but I don't reflect that with my actions. And you begin to build a sort of resentment. Your confidence goes down. Your ability to trust yourself goes down. You can't operate as well as you normally could. When in reality, if you know you're not going to do something, you don't need to promise it. You don't need to speak about it. And you should always say less than necessary. Because what benefit do you get besides maybe a little bit of dopamine and some attention from other people about saying how you're going to do something that's amazing? And there's actually something very interesting and curious about the human mind, that if you repeat something a repetitive amount of times, if you repeat something a certain amount of times, say you're discussing how you're going to win the Olympics, for some people neurologically, it's as if you already won the Olympics. So your motivation, your desire to get the dopamine of winning the Olympics is now gone. The more you pursue a goal and the more you talk about it, the less likely you're going to be able to follow it through. And that's statistically proven. And of course, there's outliers, and that doesn't apply to everybody. But the curious thing about that is, why even talk about your plans? Why even talk about your intentions? If you move in silence, people will respect you more. And it might not be evident now, but it'll be evident later. And not only that, you will be more appreciative of the goal when you reach it, because nobody even knew what you were doing, what you were going through, what you were enduring, and what you were struggling through. But looking back, they'll see your story. Just like David Goggins. Nobody gave a fuck about Goggins until he was Goggins. There was no stay hard. There was no you can't hurt me book. There was no Navy SEAL version of David Goggins until he actually did it. Nobody knows the story that you're going to write until you write it. So they don't give a fuck about it until it's already written. And not only that, there's a lot of things that people don't even appreciate until you're gone. Most artists' work is not appreciated until they pass away. And I'm not going to misquote the Nobel Prize again.
Good times. But I'll say, because a lot of people like to think of getting to a point of success as there's a lot of examples where people have lied their way to the top. And I'm not going to sit here and say that that is false or incorrect. No, it is correct. There are a lot of people who are doing a lot of things in a non-moral way and a way that only helps them to get to a high place of success. And that is very true. However, in my opinion, meaning what you say and telling the truth builds a community around you that lifts you up, and lying drags people down beneath you. And in my opinion, both of those options have you in a state to where you're seen as above people or more successful than people. But one route leads to a sustained success in mental well-being and clarity. And in my opinion, that's the way in the route of telling the truth and meaning what you say. So there's been multiple examples in my life where I could have lied, and it probably would have been better in the short term if I lied instead of telling the truth. But I decided to tell the truth. Why? Because I wanted the mental clarity and, the well-being of knowing that I did the right thing, whether that person liked it or not. I did the right thing, what I felt was right, and what I knew would be beneficial to that person in the long term. And also, what you come to find out is, even though most people don't like you telling the truth in the, short term, more often than not, they always come back and they always respect you for being so candid and honest with them, because most people are just lying to your face, or most people don't hold up their end of the bargain. So whether good or bad, if you hold up your end of the bargain, if you're telling the truth, you will build a community around you that knows you and respects you for being a truth teller and a truth seeker. So when you're ascending up the corporate ranks or up the entrepreneurial ranks and you're trying to do a lot of things, people will be more open to wanting to help you because they know that you tell the truth, they know that you conduct good business, and they know that you mean what you say. A lot of people in this business do not mean what they say. I can't tell you how many people that we've encountered that said that they were going to do one thing, that we had a great product, that we're definitely going to do business in the future. And then you call them to check back on them and they don't answer the phone. They don't pick up the phone. Or they say, oh, we can, we'll do it. And we'll just push it out to November or some shit like that, something like that. And that's cool. However, everyone, in my opinion, benefits if you mean what you say and you tell the truth. If you just spout bullshit, that doesn't help you grow as a person, and it doesn't help the person that you're talking to grow at all. Because if something is wrong with Jose, and I'm saying
there's a lot of
everything
things wrong with me.
If something is wrong with Jose, and I'm saying everything is peachy, say he fucked up his shoulder, and it's clearly fucked up, and we're going to the gym, and I'm like, you're fine, bro. Let's go lift. That doesn't benefit me, because in the short term, it's cool. I have a lifting partner. But in the long term, he might not be able to lift with me anymore because his shoulder's fucked up. So I could lose a potential lifting partner. And then also it's fucked up for him because now he's putting himself and his shoulder into more strenuous circumstances that he may not be able to, work his way out of without the proper PT and whatnot, but he's prolonging the pain and suffering that he's going through because I'm not being honest with him. So when you're not being honest and when you don't mean what you say, it can really affect both parties negatively. And that's what people I really don't think take the time to understand and voice. So if you're going to say something, mean it. Whether it hurts their feelings or not, mean that shit. And again, you have a mental clarity that if you can go to sleep at night knowing that you did the right thing, that's what I like to hear. And then also you give that person a new perspective on life or a new perspective on how they should go about handling things, which allows them to grow. So to me, the benefits of meaning what you say are so much better than just sitting here and telling a lie or not doing what the fuck you said that you were going to do. Following through in anything in life gets you exactly where you want to be and exactly what you want to get. It's just a matter of having the ball to do it.
I want to make a clarification here. Sometimes, and this is actually a very recent occurrence that we had, sometimes it's not people ducking or avoiding things. Sometimes you just need to show up, because there are people who are busy, and there's also people who require person-to-person, face-to-face interactions. A lot of things get done in person that wouldn't get done remotely. And sometimes you just have to take the trip. Sometimes you have to show face. Sometimes you have to shake hands. Sometimes you got to punch somebody in the face. Whatever it takes, you need to be sure that whatever is happening because of a certain reason. And it's very easy to miscommunicate, and a lot of people can't properly communicate. So setting the expectation that others will almost always perfectly address a problem as an adult, or that maybe the pattern that you're seeing is not an outlier, it's very difficult to say for certain. So you have to be cautious, you have to be careful, and I think you have to be mindful. In anything you do, you have to be the bigger person. What an asshole.
The whole time it's
You know
Mr.
what?
Turner.
You know what? The AM Club podcast.
Signing out.
The AM Club podcast.